In Nigeria and across much of the continent, there is a long-standing belief that when a person falls and begins to shake, they are experiencing a spiritual possession. In reality, epilepsy is a medical condition with a biological cause. But because it is so frequently misidentified as a spiritual crisis, many people go years without ever seeing a doctor. To understand why, we have to look at how the brain actually functions. It relies on a continuous regulated flow of electrical signals along specific pathways. A seizure occurs when there is a sudden abnormal burst of electrical activity. It functions like a power surge in a city grid, temporarily overloading the system until it haywires and resets. Epilepsy is simply the term used when these internal electrical surges happen repeatedly. This process is entirely biological. There is no spirit, no possession, and no cause. Only electricity and brain chemistry. The physical symptoms are often frightening to witness. The body stiffens, followed by uncontrollable rhythmic shaking and a total loss of responsiveness. After a minute or two, the episode ends. The shaking stops and the brain begins its reset process. Without a medical explanation, this sudden onset and abrupt ending looks like a supernatural event. The myth of possession survived not because people were foolish, but because the science of neurology wasn't available to explain what they were seeing. Now that we can map these electrical surges, that lack of information is no longer a factor. Because of the spiritual myth, people often respond to seizures with dangerous force, pinning the person's limbs down or shoving hard objects into their mouth. There is a specific fear that a person might swallow their tongue. This is physically impossible, and trying to prevent it by forcing objects into the mouth often causes broken teeth and jaw injuries. The social cost is just as damaging. Individuals are often stigmatized as cursed and hidden away, losing access to school, employment, and marriage. Families may spend years on religious rituals, sometimes involving fire or water, while the underlying medical condition remains completely untreated. This reliance on spiritual intervention over medical care is why people die from epilepsy. They aren't killed by spirit, they die from drowning, injury, and prolonged unmanaged seizures. Correct seizure first aid is non-invasive. The first step is to stay calm and look at a watch to time how long the shaking lasts. You must protect the person from their surroundings, move hard objects away, and place something soft under their head to prevent impact injuries. Once the shaking stops, gently roll the person onto their side. These simple moves keeps the airway clear. During recovery, if the seizure continues for more than 5 minutes, it has become a medical emergency. You must call for a doctor immediately. This step focuses on physical safety, turning a frightening event into a manageable medical situation. The primary tool for treatment is anti-epileptic medication, which is specifically designed to stabilize the brain's electrical activity. For approximately 70% of people with epilepsy, these medications controls their seizures completely. That means 7 out of 10 people who access treatment can live lives entirely free of seizures. This chemical stabilization is what actually stops the symptoms, making a condition that once felt like a life sentence into something predictable and manageable. The medication is affordable and effective, but it only works if the person reaches a doctor for a diagnosis. Prayer can be a comfort to families, but it cannot be a substitute for clinical treatment. Both can exist together, but one must never replace the other. Modern medicine replaces the need for fire or water or even deliverance services with a straightforward clinical approach. Choosing a professional diagnosis and a daily tablet over the fear of a cause is a specific action required to end the risk of injury and stop preventable death.